She leaned in close, her breath warm against my ear, the music loud, the lights soft. And she said it like it was nothing, like it was a joke, like I was supposed to laugh. Don't get any ideas. Marriage is for men who deserve it. That's all she said. 16 words. But they didn't just land, they imploded inside me. Because I didn't hear a joke. I heard the truth. Finally. And in that moment, something in me didn't break, it woke up. My name's Daniel. I run a risk management firm. That's a fancy way of saying I spend my days looking for cracks in systems, in contracts, in people. I don't wait for disasters. I predict them. I plan for them. I build exits before the fire starts. And for 2 years, I'd been watching the cracks grow in my relationship with Claire. We lived together. We had friends. We looked like a couple you'd see in a photo on a wedding invite. Happy, stable, successful. But happiness isn't always real. Sometimes it's just well lit. Claire came from money. Old money. The kind that doesn't talk about money. It just assumes you know your place. Her parents lived in a world of country clubs, charity galas, and quiet judgment. And from the start, I wasn't in it. I was self-made. I drove a car I paid for in full. I wore clothes that fit, not ones that screamed, "Look at me." I didn't care about labels. I cared about integrity. And to her family, that wasn't integrity. It was lack of ambition. Claire used to roll her eyes at them. "They don't get you," she'd say. "But I do." I believed her. But slowly, so slowly I almost didn't notice, she started sounding just like them. It started small. "You're wearing that to dinner? Your friend Dave still drives that old truck? You really think that's a good idea?" Always with a laugh. Always with a kiss after. But the knife was in the words, not the tone. And I kept listening. Because I've always believed this. People tell you who they are, not in big speeches, not in fights, but in the quiet moments, in the offhand comments, in what they don't apologize for. And Claire was telling me, over and over, that I wasn't enough. We had an arrangement. I owned the house. She paid a set amount for bills. It wasn't a 50-50 split, because the house was mine before we met. But I never made her feel like a guest, until I started feeling like one. She'd complain about the thermostat, then redecorate a room without asking, then invite her parents over for dinner, really, just so they could look around and silently judge the furniture. I didn't argue. I just watched. And I planned. Because I knew, if this kept going, I'd leave. I just needed proof. One undeniable moment where the mask came off completely. And at my best friend David's wedding, she handed it to me. It was a beautiful night. David and Maria, two people who actually like each other, finally saying forever. The kind of love that makes you believe in happy endings. Claire was glowing, smiling, hugging people, playing the role of the perfect girlfriend. But then, during the first dance, she turned to me, champagne in hand, a little buzzed, a little too comfortable, and she leaned in. "Don't get any ideas. Marriage is for men who deserve it." Not angry, not loud, just final, like she was stating a fact of nature, like the sky is blue, like I am not worthy. And that's when I knew. This wasn't a slip. This was her truth. She didn't think I deserved marriage. She didn't think I deserved her. And in that second, my mind didn't rage. It cleared. The contingency plan I'd been building in the back of my head, the one I hoped I'd never need, activated. I smiled. A calm, quiet smile. And I said, "Of course not." She squeezed my hand. Thought she'd won. Thought she'd put me in my place. She had no idea. She had no idea what she'd just set in motion. Because I wasn't going to fight. I wasn't going to beg. I wasn't going to scream. I was going to walk away and make sure she felt it. The rest of the night, I played my part perfectly. I laughed. I danced. I even danced with her. But inside, I was already gone. And I had one last move to make. The bouquet toss. Traditionally, it's a silly game. Single women crowd the dance floor. The bride tosses. Someone catches it. They laugh. Life goes on. But I turned it into an exit strategy. I pulled Maria aside while Claire was in the bathroom. Maria's known me since college. She's sharp, And she's never bought Claire's act. Maria, I said, low and serious, I need you to do something for me. At the bouquet toss. She saw my face. Knew it wasn't a joke. What happened? I told her. Word for word. Marriage is for men who deserve it. Maria's eyes went dark. She said that? At our wedding. I nodded. Maria didn't hesitate. What do you need? I told her the plan. Not to toss the bouquet. To hand it. To a specific person. At a specific moment. She didn't flinch. She smiled. And she said, "Oh, this is going to be beautiful." Next, I found my sister, Laura. She's a lawyer. A firecracker. And the most loyal person I know. I handed her my car keys and a list. Go to the house, I said. Use the spare key. Pack an overnight bag for me. And get the box from the back of my closet. She didn't. Ask why? She just said, "You're doing it, huh?" I have to. She hugged me. Good. She doesn't deserve you. Then I went to the DJ. $100 bill. A whisper. A song cue. He didn't blink. Just nodded. Professionals understand drama when they see it. As the bouquet toss approached, Claire was excited. She and her friends pushed to the front, giggling, shoving, acting like it mattered. And to her, it did. This was her world, performance, attention, being seen. The DJ called for single women. Maria stood on the stage, bouquet in hand. The countdown started. 3, 2, 1. She didn't throw it. She turned, looked into the crowd, walked down the steps. The women parted. She walked past Claire like she wasn't even there, and handed the bouquet to Hannah. Hannah, my college friend. Smart, kind, funny. We'd reconnected a few months ago. Just friends. But there was always something. She wasn't part of the plan. She was the plan. The music cut. A slow, emotional instrumental started. The lights dimmed, except for one spotlight. It swung across the room and landed on me. I started walking. No hesitation. No fear. I walked past the tables, past the stunned guests, past Claire, who was frozen, mouth open, eyes wide. I didn't look at her. I walked straight to Hannah. Laura appeared beside me like magic, handed me the small box. I took Hannah's hand, got down on one knee. The DJ slipped me a mic. I looked at her, at the ring, at the life I was about to choose. Hannah, I said, voice steady, I came here tonight, and I saw what real love looks like. It's not about status. It's not about who your parents are. It's about respect. It's about seeing someone, really seeing them, and knowing they deserve the best. I paused, let it sink in. Claire reminded me that marriage is for men who deserve it. And I realized, I want a partner who deserves the best, too. I know this is crazy, but I'd rather take a wild chance on a future with someone like you than spend another second with someone who makes me feel small. I opened the box. My grandmother's ring. Simple, elegant, real. Will you marry me? Silence. Total, breathless silence. Hannah stared at me. Then the ring. Then Maria, who was nodding furiously. Then back at me. And she smiled. Soft. Surprised. But sure. Yes, she whispered. Yes, I will. The room exploded. Cheers. Screams. Tears. David and Maria rushed over. My parents were crying. Friends were hugging, laughing, filming. And Claire? She made a sound I'll never forget. Like an animal losing its territory. High-pitched. Raw. Then she started screaming. At me. At Hannah. At Maria. Calling me a liar. A manipulator. A monster. Her friends tried to comfort her. But the room had already chosen sides. David stepped in. Calm. Firm. Claire, it's time to go. Her father, the man who'd once told me I'd never be her equal, just stood there, speechless, watching his daughter unravel in front of 200 people. She was escorted out, still screaming. This was a setup. This was a setup. And you know what? She was right. It was a setup, but not the one she thought. This wasn't about revenge. It was about freedom. Hannah knew. She'd known for weeks. After months of Claire's disrespect, I reached out, told her everything. Hannah had just gotten out of a toxic relationship herself. She got it. The reconnection wasn't accidental. The proposal wasn't spontaneous. It was my escape hatch. And when Claire was gone, the party didn't end. It transformed. It became our celebration. And while the world was watching us, Laura was already at my house. She didn't just pack a bag. She called a 24-hour moving crew. 2 hours. That's all it took. Every piece of Claire's life, her clothes, her shoes, her books, her stupid designer lamps, gone. Packed. Moved to storage. By the time Hannah and I left the hotel, there was nothing left of her. The next morning, I turned my phone on. War zone. Missed calls. Texts. Threats. Pleading. From Claire. From her parents. From her brother. I didn't respond. I sent one message. Then blocked them all. Claire, you were right. Marriage is for men who deserve it. And a man who deserves it wouldn't stay with someone who doesn't respect him. You're free to find someone you deem worthy. Your belongings are in Storage Unit 42 at 123 Storage Way. Code 1234. First month paid. This is my final message. Done. No drama. No court. No begging. Just peace. But Claire's family didn't let it go. They hired a lawyer. Sent a letter. Demanded emotional damages. Claimed she was entitled to half the house. Half our shared life. My sister Laura, the lawyer, responded. And let's just say, she didn't hold back. Her letter included the deed to the house, in my name, purchased before Claire, bank records showing her minimal contributions, witness statements from guests who heard her comments that night, and a countersuit threat for the $8,000 she'd charged to. My card without permission. They went silent. Forever. Socially, she was finished. The story spread. Not the fake version they tried to push, that I was unstable, that I humiliated her. No, people heard the truth. She told me I didn't deserve marriage. So I left, and the world saw her for who she really was. She moved back in with her parents, quit her job, vanished from the scene. As for Hannah and me, the fake engagement became real, faster than we expected. We spent weeks talking, laughing, healing, not as old friends, but as two people who'd both survived relationships that made them doubt themselves. We got married. 6 months later. Small, quiet, on a beach. No spotlight, no drama, just us. David and Maria were our witnesses. And every day since, I've woken up grateful. Not because of the proposal, not because of the revenge, but because I finally listened. When people tell you who they are, don't wait for proof. Don't make excuses. Don't say, they didn't mean it. Believe them. Claire didn't. Say I wasn't good enough. She showed me. And in the end, her cruelty became my compass. She wanted to be the last word on my worth. Instead, she became the first sentence in a much better story. And this one has a happy ending.